In the words of that great modern day philosopher Britney Spears, oops, I did it again. Yes, I've bought another TT 120 train set, and this one has an A4 locomotive in it, so let's take a look. Hello there, welcome back to Simon's Shed, and yes, welcome to another TT 120 train set review. After the popularity of the first one, the Scotsman set review, thanks very much for watching that and all your comments and likes and so on. It went down really well, so straight away I ordered the second set, which is this one, the Easterner. So this one is different in as much as it's nearly £20 cheaper for the set. It's obviously got the different loco in it, the green BR green A4, and a different set of coaches. We get 3 Mark 1 maroon coaches this time. And yes, although I do really like the Pullman coaches from the first set, I suspect the loco in this one is going to be my favourite. But to find out, we need to open the box. Right, here we go. So, do like the artwork on the front of the box. Looks very smart, and we'll have a quick look at the back. Just tells you what you're going to get in the set, and we've got actual size representations of the loco, the brake coach and the 2 composite coaches, and you get the transformer, the track, the points, the sort of curve straightener off the points, the power track, the railer and the buffer. You don't get a track mat, and it's the track pack 1, effectively this plus this, that we're getting in the set. Let's get it open. It's a tight fit. And voila! So very much like the previous train set, all present and correct. We've got the curved track there with the, these are 3rd radius curves with the 1/6 radius, which sort of straightens up the curve coming off the point. And now we've got the straights and the power track. Transformer to plug into the wall, the basic controller, railer and a buffer stop, 3 carriages, and the star of the show, and the one I'm going to look at first, the A4 locomotive. Let's dive straight in then, and carefully take out the, if I can figure which end, the locomotive. Whoa, that is superb. So there it is, the A4 William Whitlelaw, number 4, looking pretty darn good on initial impressions. It seems to have a nice finish, and I will do some, wow, the cab detail's fantastic. I will do some proper close-ups later on, but yeah, I really want to get this on the track as soon as possible and see how it runs. So it looks like this is the brake coach, and we'll have a closer look later, as I say, but I can see some bits of detail inside there, some seats represented. And the other 2 composite corridor coaches looking very smart as well. Let's build this track and get the loco running. And there is the track, all built up appropriately enough for TT scale. It is on the tabletop, and just as a reminder, it's roughly 2.5 feet in width and 4 feet in length that you'll need. So that's about 74 centimeters by 123. Ah yes, that familiar horrible buzzing noise. Now, last time I blamed the controller for that. We're about to find out whether I was right. Behold, the Gagemaster Model D. Yes, I decided to invest in a proper DC controller if I'm going to be testing more of these locos. So let's find out what difference it makes. So here we go, same test with the microphone in the same position with the Gagemaster controller. Quite a difference, and running much smoother too. Pretty conclusive, I think. Now I think it's important because, you know, this is a train set and it does come with that controller to show you how it performs with that controller. So you saw that it was a little bit jerky and not too bad once it's up to speed. But of course there is that horrible buzzing noise. Now I've shown you that, hopefully you'll forgive me for using the Gagemaster controller for the rest of the video, because A, I want you to keep watching and I don't want you to get annoyed by that buzzing noise, and B, I don't particularly want to listen to it either. So yeah, let's use the Gagemaster one for the rest of the review, but you've seen how it performs with the one that comes in the set. So yes, highly recommend you upgrade the controller if you're sticking with DC. Of course, if you are going to put a DCC chip in, then it doesn't really matter about the train set controller, but I'd say just get a Gagemaster DC controller if that's what you're sticking with. And to cover off the DCC side, it's a Next 18 socket in this loco, so that's the chip you'll need, and there is space for a speaker inside the tender. But while that's running in, let's have a little talk about the prototype. You know, this is one of the most iconic locomotives ever built. To this day, the fastest steam locomotive in the world, designed by Nigel Gresley for the London and North Eastern Railway in 1935, and obviously an express passenger loco, the sort of pride and joy, the halo loco for the LNER, pulling its streamlined express passenger services up and down the East Coast Main Line. As represented on this model, some of the streamlining, i.e. the valances over the wheels, was removed later on to ease maintenance, and this model features some of the later variations, such as the double chimney and obviously the BR green livery, which was introduced in the early 50s. But yeah, we could talk about the A4 prototype for hours, and you probably already know more than me about it anyway, so let's move on to some other things. So I've let her run in for an hour in each direction. These locos do seem to benefit from some extra running in, and they do keep improving, so giving it a good run. Right, here we go. Let's test the crawl performance. Well, I'm impressed. That's pretty good. Okay, it's definitely time to couple up those Mark 1 coaches now. I'll try and get the brake coach at the right end this time, and let's see how it looks. So we've got the standard TT couplings again, the sort of Tillig style couplings that you have to uncouple by pushing the hooks up from underneath. And yes, the coaches do look very smart. So what else do we need to talk about? Well, in case you want to know the weight of the model locomotive, it's 150 grams, which is slightly heavier than the Scotsman loco, which was 140. And the coaches are 37 grams for the brake coach and 38.5 for each for the composite corridor coaches, which is ever so slightly lighter than the 39 grams that the Pullman coaches were last time. Now, just briefly, one thing I've noticed when I hooked up the coaches is they do make a little bit of a noise as they go around the corners. I'll try and show you. So yeah, you can see there's not really much, if any, friction there. It's not stopping them from moving. They're still pretty free to roll, and it's certainly not causing any running issues and derailing them or anything, but yeah, it's just a slightly irritating noise as they go around the corners. I think the wheels are just catching on the body somewhere, but definitely something to mention. Right, let's get back to the running. Also, I guess we should talk about money. Can't buy me love, according to the Beatles, but money can buy you model trains, and this one cost me £165 for this train set. That's including the Hornby TT Club discount, of course. Yeah, I think it's good value for money from what I've seen so far. Pulling power also seems pretty much the same as the other set. By adding weight to the coaches, I've sort of calculated that roughly it will do sort of 15-16 coaches before it starts to struggle. So now I think we should have a nice close look at the detail. So the locomotive first. I have to say it does look fantastic overall. You can see from the side here the valve gear is relatively fine and looks fantastic. We can see the William Whitlelaw nameplate, and the lining and logos all look to be printed very crisply. As with the other loco, we've got the slightly large wheel flanges. And if we take a look inside the cab, really impressed with this. We've got a lot of cab detail picked out. You can see the brake, various gauges, the firebox door and so on. Lots of things picked out, and yes, very impressed with that. Quick look at the end of the tender, so you can see the sort of corridor tender represented there with the window in the top corner. Interesting detail. And again we can see the lining looks to be very well applied. We can see the details on the front there. Yes, very impressed with the look of the loco. So this is the brake coach. If I'm being harsh, the roof detail is the weakest point. It is all moulded on. Whereas, so if we look at the ends, we can see some more separately fitted detail there. And a quick look underneath, we've got some underframe detail, and we've got the sort of close coupling system with the springs to keep the carriages fairly closely coupled together. And we've got various bits of printing on the sides of the coaches, and you can see the bars on the windows of the brake coach there. Colour looks really good from my visits to my local preserved railway, the Severn Valley Railway. These look a very familiar sight to me. And try and get you a look inside. There are seats. Remember, this is a corridor coach, so you can just see the seats there, and obviously on the other side we can see the corridor section leading into the compartments. That's represented as well. Impressed with the interior detail. And we'll have a look at one of the other coaches, the composite corridor with the first class section. You can see tiny little stickers on the windows for first class, and again the lining looks good and the printing looks good. Similar underframe detail. Overall, very impressive. So then, what do we think? I think in terms of value for money, I think it's a really good proposition. £165 for this set with beautiful loco. I really like the finish on it, and all of the livery details are really good. Coaches, fantastic interior detail. Not the best roof detail I've ever seen, but it's a minor point. Build quality overall seems good, and overall again it seems to run pretty well. Not perfect though, there are a few downsides. I found this with the Scotsman as well. I noticed that the front wheels, the pony truck wheels, were stuck, and picked it up and a little square of insulation tape fell out. Now this time with the A4, again I noticed the wheels were sort of sticking on the front pony truck. Last time I assumed that a bit of stray tape had got stuck in there from the packaging. But this time I looked and it was actually deliberately stuck inside, sort of above the pony truck. A little bit of tape, not entirely sure what it's there, whether it's electrical insulation or whether it's to stop something rubbing, but I've taken it out and it's solved the problem of the wheel sticking, and it doesn't seem to have caused any additional problems. So yeah, not really sure why that tape is there, but if you do get those issues, then it might be worth having a look and removing the tape. I can't show you, but I did also get a couple of instances of when the loco goes around a corner, the front pony truck wheels on one side will lift up slightly off the track. And of course, as soon as I turned the camera on, it was absolutely fine and fixed itself. So possibly just the front pony truck not sitting on the track properly, or the track not quite being level and straight. And of course there's that minor issue with the sound from the coaches. But really, I have to say overall I am very impressed and happy with it, and yeah, can't wait to see what they bring out next. So if you are enjoying the my journey into TT120, then best thing to do is hit that subscribe button, because there will be more videos coming up very soon, and tap on the notification bell so that you get reminders of new videos. Let me know what you'd like to see in the comments. I'm thinking of maybe doing a small TT120 layout and possibly reviewing the individual locos as well. So let me know if you'd like to see that. But for now, I'd like to say thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.